Good evening. It's a late one tonight, but I got something that I think you guys are gonna want to watch. Let's do a teardown of an Allison A1000. This is a 6-speed model, so it is 2006 and later, and you can tell that because of the way that it is. Actually, you can tell it because the gear selector is on the inside of the transmission. So let's do a little teardown video here, see what we got inside. I have a feeling this ain't gonna be good due to that. Looks pretty nasty, but let's get set up here and do the old teardown. So one little hint that you can do if you're not doing these things every day is you can make little markings on the heads of these things. I put 2 dots on the perimeter bolts that go around the outside of this thing and 1 dot on the center bolts. You can make little markings for your dipstick tube, because on these you have a tube that can be on both sides. Just little things like that might help you out. These things are expensive, so go slow and easy with them. Next thing we're going to do is get these bolts in the bell housing on. That's a 15. That is a dead impact. Copper ones at the bottom. Got a little copper washer on there. Flip this thing over and get the pan off of it. Those are 13s. Oh shit. Hold on. Okay, well, I got you all suspended there. This is what we're working with after my spill. We're suspended by the jib crane. And we can get a pretty good idea of the nastiness. I mean, if you guys could smell this, you'd be gagging. It's bad. We got some yuck. Hopefully that's just clutch material. I have a bunch of cleanup to do here. We made a mess everywhere. I thought that was drained. It wasn't. Look at the mess. Yuck. I'll bring you back after cleanup. Alright, continuing on. Let's roll this on its side if we're able. Kind of do it like this. God, these things are heavy. Put the old pig mat down. Take our pan, slide it over here, kind of make some room for us to work. And then there's a certain pattern here on the valve body side that you take the bolts off of and and it'll go ahead and release the whole thing as one piece. Let's get this twist on oil filter off of here. That bad boy was on there. So you always have 2 oil filters on these Allisons. And when you service them, you make sure you put the damn magnet back on here, which there isn't one. And it didn't stick to the opposite side. Alright, let me get this valve body unbolted. I'll try and get you swung around over here, and we'll go from there. Let's try and get this wiring harness undone here. Pretty simple stuff. Just undo the clips. Nothing really to it. And if these things have been overheated, you're going to want to be gentle, because the clips can become brittle, and then you'll be replacing the wiring harness, which you never intended to do either. These blue ones just pull straight up, and you've got 2 clips here that are retaining the wiring harness, which are the solenoids. So they kind of incorporated it in. So just gently pull out on them. Got 1, got 2. Lay your harness over, put your solenoid clip back in, like so, and then you can lay that to the side. Okay, hopefully I'm not in your way. I have a tendency to do that to you guys. it is not intentional. It's kind of like the dog that you have that you're trying to move around and the dog's always in the way. Okay, so here we go. Two. Okay, and these sit on a dowel. Ooh, forgot a fastener over here. Alright, so there's the valve body. This isn't looking good, folks. Look at that trash. Not looking good. Ooh. Let's pull the bell housing off. I'll get you repositioned over there. And these things kind of separate in the middle here. So this half comes off and this half comes off. Okay, we're gonna go back with our 15 millimeter. If I can find where I put that, that happened to disappear in that oily mess that we made. Big Daddy Long Dong goes over here. All right, pull these bolts out and the bell housing is ready to come off. Try and leave the guts of the transmission inside here. Because this C1, So here's your pump half here. Kind of similar to that 6L80. Okay, now I'm going to kind of slide this unit back and find a spot for this bell housing, and then we'll pull the guts out here. But I have a feeling this thing probably ate its babies, so and with that much material in here, it's probably shot. And then we'll be looking for a core. And core hunting, you know, with all the diesel tuners and everything else nowadays, trying to find one of these that's in good condition can be few and far between. Let's pull out this C1 and 2 clutch. Kind of reminds you of the Space Needle, doesn't it? Okay, now, this ain't looking promising at all. All right, I'm gonna pop this snap ring out, pull the guts out the front here. And I kind of apologize here. Okay, so here's your front snap ring right in here. Pull that out, pull this mess of clutches out, and the planetary. You can see that it looks like we've sustained some heat damage here. This isn't going well. I'm gonna have to put you down. Okay, so here's the front one. Then we've got the pressure plate with a chunk of shit right there. And you can kind of tell this side faces in the transmission because there's a spring basket here. Ooh boy, what have we got going on here? That used to be a clutch. That used to be a steel. She's hot. She's hot, boys and girls. And what I like to try and do, if at all possible, is to keep all these together. Oh, look at that. We got one saved here. But those are supposed to be clutches and steels, and they're all steels now. Except for one. We could probably reuse that one. Only kidding. Only kidding. Okay, so here's your return springs on the face of this apply piston. The actual apply pistons, the rubber molded pistons, are in here. We still have bearings intact. We're going to really have to look at this planet here. Check it for rock. Gonna have to go against the book and figure out if that's okay or not. I don't feel any rock in it, in the planets, but we'll have to check our bearing surfaces. This bearing's okay. The hell is that? Look at how roached that is. Woo, buddy. Okay. So that concludes the front side of your teardown. Now, we go over to the back and we pull that apart. And we might just go ahead and tilt it up on end. And do it like that. Very much like the front, you have a series of bolts around the back. This lifts off. There's actually a spring tension behind here, so it might lift up on you a little bit as you take it apart, and that's okay. And then we'll just go to town here. So let's undo these. See what we end up with. Okay, so here we go around the outside. 2 trailer park girls go around the outside. 1, 2, 6. There we go. She popped right up like I said it was going to. Let's try and keep things together. Yeah. I always forget about that parking pole spring and I ruin it every time. Idiot. Whoopsie daisy. This is your parking pole. There's the other half of it there. More mess coming up. Alright. Then we'll take this spring pack, set him over here. This gear set will be good because it never gets used for anything except for reverse and low gear. There's a little bit of heat storing on it, but this thing probably got run out of fluid if I'm going to be 100% honest. Huge sun gear. Huge everything. Like I said, that clutch pack is okay. That plate's okay. Then we have another huge snap ring here. Same as the front. And then we'll this one's a double bubble back here. Okay, I'm going to set this snap ring over here. So that's the inner one that holds the outer one spread apart. And I will use a zip tie and pair these two up. And I'll do that on some transmissions. You'll see me do that where there's similar snap rings. It doesn't hurt to keep things together. And there's some of us that have excellent memories or have done 400,000 of these bad boys and they can do them in their sleep. My memory isn't as good as it should have been or used to be. So pair those two up together and take this clutch set, pair that with them. You can see that one started taking some heat. This one was brown. Then you start getting your scoring in here. You got your spring plate. Then you got your rubber molded piston here. And Another thing I want to say is there's a little bleed hole in these rubber molded pistons, both in the front and the back. That bleed hole goes to the top of the transmission. Hello friends, it's me. So I gotta tell you, I guess I didn't realize that I ended that video so abruptly. I looked everywhere. I thought I had taken video of me taking the C1, C2 input drum, you know, the Space Needle guy, taking him apart, show you the clutches in there. So I had to go back through the video and add notes as to what was going on there. But that Allison was in pretty bad shape. Do yourselves a favor when you're towing and keep an eye on your temperature gauges. And, you know, just keep an eye on that stuff. Do maintenance every now and again. Keep your filters clean, keep your fluid flushed. Just take care of those things, because that guy ended up spending some serious money for that Allison. They're just a costly transmission to redo. I'm sure there's more expensive ones out there, but I see a lot of the Allisons either with a bearing failure right up near the front there, or just people cooking the C3 clutch out of them. Gorin makes some really nice parts that you can buy. I did include them on that build. Some nice side covers with some drill jigs that you can drill for oiling modifications. But yeah, I do apologize for not having that amount of video in there, or that section of video in there. I thought I'd hit record. Things get a little bit nuts. Greasy hands, oil leaks everywhere trying to get done. Maybe next time I get to do one of those. We'll do another tear down and go through it together. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Little break in the action while my brother goes through the Cadillac floor pans, and I'm trying to complete this truck over here behind me, along with keeping up with these things, and a full week of work. So it is non-stop, but we enjoy you guys, especially for taking time out and watching us. So appreciate you all, and we'll catch you again next Friday on the Hold Up Project.